For a team that claimed to be struggling during testing, Mercedes finished the Bahrain Grand Prix in a far better position than Red Bull. Qualifying definitely didn't go to plan for the Silver Arrows, with Hamilton lining up next to his old teammate Bottas on the third row of the grid, and a slow George Russell only managing 9th fastest in Q3. If it wasn't for the Red Bull team having both cars break down in the last few laps of the race, Mercedes would have finished 5th and 6th. So what is it about the Mercedes car that's got Lewis Hamilton so confident that his team is better than Red Bull? Stick around till the end of the video to find out. The Bahrain Grand Prix provided everything we wanted and more from the first race of the season. Talk throughout testing had covered every car on the grid. Each team had brought its own innovations, and everyone was eager to see who had got it right. After qualifying, it looked like Ferrari and Red Bull had made all the right choices, with a car on row 1 and 2 of the grid each. Mercedes, on the other hand, started in 5th and 9th. While Lewis managed to put in a good lap, he was only 0.68 seconds behind pole sitter Charles Leclerc. George Mr. Saturday Russell did a poor job of living up to the hype he had created for himself in the pre-season. Starting 5th and 9th on the grid for any team would have been a good showing, but for Mercedes it simply isn't good enough. They've built a pedestal for themselves by winning 8 Constructors' Championships in a row, and a fall from that lofty height will not only hurt their pockets, but also bruise some egos. Even with their reputation and qualifying positions, many people wrote off the Brackley-based team before the race even began, and to be fair, they had every right to. The Mercedes car was the worst offender when it came to porpoising. The issue has been mostly solved by the rest of the grid, but for whatever reason, Mercedes appear to be ignoring it for now, instead expecting their drivers to suffer through 2 hours of being shaken like James Bond's martini. It's not just bad for the drivers though, it's bad for the car too, with that much banging and scraping going on. Everyone was expecting them to have big reliability issues. In the end though, Red Bull were the team left looking the fool. Both Mercedes drivers managed to drive to the limits of what their cars could manage throughout the race, crossing the line in 3rd and 4th thanks to Red Bull's implosion over the last few laps of the race. Don't be fooled, they're a long way off Ferrari, who took 1st and 2nd, but Hamilton did push Perez for periods of the race before his car died on turn 1 of the last lap, letting Hamilton take a first podium of the season. The unexpected trip for his champagne shower was welcomed by the 7-time world champion with open arms. His trip to the podium was incredibly motivating for the whole team, said Hamilton. Given that we have been faced with these challenges, which we were not expecting, but no one's been down during this phase, where we've been struggling through practice, everyone stayed positive. Everyone's just kept their head down and kept working. No one's moaned. For a team that has been written off before the race even began, a 3rd and 4th place finish was a massive win. Hamilton admitted that they may not be as fast as Red Bull for now, but expects the team to push on in the coming races. While we're not currently necessarily performance-wise fighting with these guys, it's not damage limitation, but it's really a great result. When asked if they were lucky to finish ahead of Red Bull, he said, "Of course, we're fortunate, but ultimately, we've done a better job. We've had better reliability, so I don't necessarily think that's luck. That's the hard work of everyone." Hamilton's statement that the team did a better job is a statement in itself. The Mercedes team obviously believe that despite their fortune in Red Bull retiring, they ended the race where they are because, as a team, they performed better over the weekend. And it's hard to argue with them. Formula One is a results-based business. At the end of the weekend, nothing else matters apart from the points you get after finishing the race. In a few weeks' time, no one will remember how close Red Bull were to taking a podium. No one will look at the Drivers' or Constructors' Championship and say, "Oh, but Red Bull would be higher if their cars hadn't broken down." The conversation going into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix will be about how Mercedes got it right on the weekend, how they did some incredible work to get their car up to speed. People will look at Red Bull and think what could have been, but ultimately will highlight the massive errors made by the team that caused both their cars to retire in the last few laps of the race. History is written by the victors. That's what they say anyway. For now, it is Red Bull who are writing the story, but they aren't the victors in their story. This is a tragedy of their own making. It's Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton who walk away victorious after the first battle of the 2022 F1 season. We hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to let us know in the comments what you think of Mercedes' performance in Bahrain, and give us a like and subscribe to the channel to never miss an update from GP culture.